Good morning, my name is Bruce and this is one of my shop projects. The project is a core cutter and it's actually an extension to the explanation I made in a previous video. The project was to make a cutter for cutting cores for the exploration drilling without having to use a hammer to break through to cut the core. So I made up a design. I showed that before, but it was probably difficult to actually read it. This is a penciled up drawing comprising of the clamping arrangement, a framework, an aluminium framework through here, a locking device so this could be opened and closed, a hydraulic cylinder and a blade, a high tensile blade. So the components of this project is one is a hydraulic cylinder. This is a 5¼ inch stroke, 133mm 5-ton hydraulic cylinder. The frame, which is made up of a block of aluminium tapped, threaded through to accommodate the cylinder. That's been bolted up. This is still a work in progress, and inside two plates, plates fitted to both of these to give it extra strength for the pull against the pins. The clamping arrangement is made up of cut pieces of aluminium plate, 16mm or 5/8 aluminium plate, all different shapes, and I've bolted those together, and then when they were together on the milling machine I milled them to the final dimension after they'd all been bolted together. That item closes over the pipe, and then we put in the clamping. We put in the main frame and the cylinder, and that gets cut. So we've got the other item is this tool steel blade that I've machined up, and that will go in here. And then when this is clamped over the tube, this knife blade will go through a slot in the tube and cut through the core, and then be left inside, and this whole unit comes away with the core and lays down, and then once it's laid down they can then open it up and retract everything and rebuild it for the next one. So that's the basic item. Now what I've made here, as I say, this is still a work in progress, but what I have here is a loose, I'll just put this together loosely so you can see how the whole thing works. This bolt arrangement, locking arrangement, fits in here. I made that with by using a high tensile bolt, machined down at the end, a bolt to hold it for radiusing, and that will have two handles welded to it. A stopping device. This plate here is the stopper. I'm just loosely putting it together at the moment to show you, because it's all got to be completed, finished off, and then stainless steel fasteners used to close it up. This is all made of aluminium, so it'll be very lightweight. So when they come to place it, they place it around the pipe, and that stopper stops it at the right gap, and then they can lock up with this nut arrangement. that this is only with a very small handle. It doesn't need a lot of force at all. That's enough. Then the blade is introduced. I've got to make some adjustments to this. The blade will then fit in, slide in. Together with the cylinder is the adapter that I made up out of hexagon bar. I've machined that up, and that is the holder for the drill. So that's made to screw in the cylinder thread. The cylinder thread can then be threaded onto the frame. I'll just put it lightly there at the moment. That then gets introduced onto cutter. Bear with you, this is quite a neat fit, and it has to be a neat fit. Goes in there. 2 pins later on to be fitted with chains. I still have to ream these holes and make everything work perfectly right. A little bit of persuasion. These will have chains on them, so nothing must be able to drop down and out of the way. The blade will then be retracted back to the point where it's connected with another pin through there. That cylinder has to be still screwed on, and then they apply hydraulic pressure. That blade comes through to as far as it'll go. You'll bear with me, this is a bit funny, but goes through to there. They will then take this pin out, the holding pin. It'll be taken out, seeing that the actual cylinder will be completely extracted, completely to its full stroke. The pin will be withdrawn. The 2 pins, these 2 major pins, will be taken out, and the cutter will be left inside. So I'm still working on it. This is the second one that has been ordered. There's a photograph here of the previous one that I made, and this is the second one that has chains on all the pins, etc. A little bolt. There's a photo of machining with a boring bar to the correct bore that I needed, so that it will just lightly clamp on the unit. So that's now to be completed. So today I will complete that, re-go over everything, change all the bolts to stainless steel, and deliver it to the client.